The leopard managed to quietly approach the wildebeests, who had relaxed to the point of lying on the ground. The predator found itself right in front of its prey, but its sudden leap caught them off guard. The antelopes instinctively scattered instead of collectively overpowering the lone predator. Yet this was only the first part of the leopard's victory. The crucial part was to catch the fleeing antelope and overcome it. The wildebeest was 3 times heavier than the leopard, but the predator invested its entire weight in the strike, knocking down the hoofed animal and swiftly grabbing it by the throat. The herbivore tried to defend itself, but the leopard threw its prey over itself like a martial arts master, then finished it with a choking move. The remaining antelopes scattered in shock. Today we will show you other instances in which leopards triumphed in seemingly challenging and unequal confrontations. The leopard decided to rest amid dense thickets. Hyenas tracked him, wanting to attack and tear apart their competitor. They pursued the panther by scent, discovered the approximate location of the enemy, and cautiously approached it. However, the hyenas didn't know what they were getting themselves into. Trying to sneak up on the leopard was foolish. The panther noticed the enemies from afar and easily outsmarted them. The leopard discreetly left the spot where it was lying, leaving behind crumpled leaves, branches, and grass. But it didn't intend to retreat far. The predator wanted to teach the audacious hyenas a lesson. One of them found the place where the leopard had just rested, but didn't notice anyone and walked past. Meanwhile, the cunning cat hid in the dense foliage, invisibly observing the enemy. Then the leopard fiercely attacked the hyena, delivering a devastating blow. The scuffle was brief, since there were 2 scavengers, and the leopard had to retreat. However, the panther's claws on the hyena's face would be remembered for a long time. The leopard moved so swiftly and skillfully that it seemed elusive, like the wind. Just as it dealt with blows the hyena, the spotted cat was already at the top of a tree, unreachable for the fangs of bewildered enemies. They received an unforgettable lesson. The leopard is a versatile fighter and not picky when it comes to choosing prey. If the target is made of meat, then the leopard is up for it. So alongside various hoofed animals, these panthers also hunt small primates. Usually, these tailed monkeys feel safe in the tree crowns. However, the leopard is simultaneously large enough to easily deal with any of them, and agile enough to catch up. The panther literally races through the trees, seemingly defying gravity, and swiftly leaps from branch to branch. But this little monkey right here considers itself elusive due to its small size. It is an adolescent that has learned absolutely everything its parents could teach. The primate is fast, agile, and adept at climbing, disappearing among the leaves. However, its small size makes it lightweight, and catching such a small target is extremely challenging. However, the primate didn't know what it was dealing with. The leopard chased its prey, clearly having fun. Right before the helpless parent size of the confident primate, the panther shortens this distance and nearly catches it. Yet the little monkey makes a sharp and incredibly fast jump straight up from a branch. This jump was supposed to save it and take it far from the enemy. But the leopard caught the prey right in midair. This cat could perform as a magician in Las Vegas or Cirque du Soleil. The agility of its paws, or rather claws, could make Houdini jealous. The leopard had a fleeting moment, but in slow motion, it becomes clear. With such elegance and ease, it seized the primate with its curved razor-sharp claws. Certainly, what followed can't really be called a struggle. The leopard simply broke the prey's body as if it were a worn-out toy and began devouring its snack. In terms of satisfaction, for the predator, the primate was like a bag of chips for an adult man. But now, the leopard can similarly entertain itself by pursuing the primate's tailed parents. Here, the leopard climbs a tree and starts behaving strangely. why would a carnivorous beast start biting the bark on a trunk? Pretty odd behavior, isn't it? But no, it turns out that the panther didn't even decide to diversify its diet with plants, but discovered an owl's nest. The little bird tried to escape, but the leopard swiftly grabbed the second one and crushed it in its jaws. The panther's bite shattered the bird's bones, and the cat enjoyed a hearty lunch. If there's no tall tree nearby, it won't stop the leopard from defending its prey. Here, the panther is having its meal when it's discovered by a lone hyena. The scavenger arrived without clan support, already simplifying the spotted cat's resolution of issues with an old enemy. However, the hyena is larger than the female leopard, more massive and stronger. It approaches head-on, but doesn't know it's dealing with a clever predator. The leopard doesn't intend to run, abandoning its meal. The cat cunningly moves the meat closer to the thickets, securing its flank and rear. The crucial aspect is a plant hanging low, right above the panther. Hence, the hyena can't use the advantage of height to swoop down on the opponent from above and up front. The hyena has to crouch, bend low, and fold its legs. The agile leopard has no trouble fighting even in such conditions, unlike the clumsy scavenger. The hyena tries to grab the enemy with intimidating jaws, but its movements are restricted. The leopard delivers a couple of painful blows, slashes the robber's face with its claws, and lets the enemy know that there's no food for it here. All the hyena can expect here is pain and new wounds. The scavenger retreats, and the female leopard calmly continues her meal. This case might seem frightening at first, but it looks comical in reality. A hyena approaches the leopard to provoke it and lure it into a trap. The scavenger thinks it can scare the predator, engage it in a fight, and then its kin can come running to surround the panther. However, the powerful, formidable, and proud leopard completely ignores the opponent, and the hyena is bewildered. Usually, its mere presence is enough to make other animals nervous. But the leopard understands that a lone hyena poses no special threat to it. By ignoring it, the panther expresses maximum contempt for the scavenger. The hyena has to retreat. The provocation failed. It seems like it now has some complexes. Leopards have earned a stable reputation as the most ruthless panthers. Lions pursue any other predators in their territory. Tigers attack the largest and most powerful beasts in their range. Jaguars handle their prey more brutally, breaking occipital bones and crushing cervical vertebrae instead of the usual panther's silent strangulation. But legends circulate only about leopards hunting for entertainment. Can you believe that? Then how about this story? A nimble female leopard attacked some baboons. These large and aggressive group-living primates are a much more challenging prey than it might seem at first glance. They often unite and defend their territory against various predators, but tangling with a leopard was a mistake. The female leopard swiftly pounced on one of them, knocked it to the ground, and quickly crushed its trachea with its powerful jaws. Then she dragged the prey onto a tree in plain view of the astonished troop of monkeys, who neither had the time nor the courage to do anything. But the leopard here received an unexpected bonus. The baboon turned out to be a female nurturing her offspring. The little one had been clinging to its mother's fur, and the leopard carried it up the tree along with its prey. Such a nice complimentary snack to the main course, isn't it? It turns out no. The leopard noticed the little monkey, but instead of swiftly breaking its neck, started playing and licking the unfamiliar infant. The predator took the prey's carcass higher up the tree, leaving the infant below. The panther had just ruthlessly and quickly dealt with the baby's mother, but the little one just doesn't understand that. At first, it fears the huge predator and tries to freeze in place. However, the female leopard lies down next to it, licks it, and amuses itself. It looks like a cruel cat playing with a mouse. Suddenly, under the tree, a hungry hyena appears. The adult female baboon rests high in the tree. The hyena would appreciate a little monkey as a treat. And then, the leopard does something unexpected. First, the cat takes the little primate higher to a safe place, and then returns, looming over the hyena. The panther frightens the competitor with a menacing roar, forcing the scavenger to retreat. Is it protecting its trophy, or genuinely caring for the baby? What do you think? After repelling the scavenger, the leopard returns to the little primate. The games continue. The baby monkey stops fearing the leopard, and the panther licks, strokes, warms, and even removes it from a high branch when it sees the baby might fall and get hurt. It seems like the bloodthirsty leopard has no intention of eating this little one, and it genuinely demonstrates care for it. Of course, the little baboon can only survive by returning to its own troop. The female leopard can't care for it long. Still, her sympathy for another's baby is pleasantly surprising, right? Admit it. This behavior definitely deserves your like. It can reach speeds of more than 70 miles per hour, more than 110 kilometers per hour, at least for a short distance. But this is a consequence of a rather narrow hunting specialization. The cheetah most often hunts fast and maneuverable impalas and gazelles. He is strong enough to defeat wildebeest or zebra, but fighting with other large predators is a very, very bad idea for him. He has no chance against a lion, so it's also better not to mess with a hyena and a leopard. The anatomy of a light and lean cheetah is designed for a lightning-fast short chase. A quick strike and the completion of the hunt. Massive rivals are not for him. Especially a giant snake that relies on brute force. Therefore, if a cheetah meets a python, it will try to simply bypass the threat. He will not be able to defeat an adult snake. As for venomous snakes, the incredible speed of running does not mean that the cheetah's reaction speed is better than that of a flash or mercury. He can dodge the cobra's throw, but why risk it if there are plenty of appetizing and mostly defenseless impalas around? In general, although mongooses and honey badgers have a reputation for snake hunters, cats practically do not lag behind their colleagues and are often the first to attack snakes. They are just universal hunters, so the fame of snake fighters has passed them by. It's a pity. Even small cats can fight back against a huge cobra. The secret of success is courage. The venomous snake has one weapon for that ultimatum. Therefore, the only chance to survive is to go straight towards danger. Therefore, cats in a fight with poisonous snakes do not attack the tail and not the trunk, but aim directly at the head. Thus, the brave animal tries to knock down the attacking rush of the enemy. If the claws hit the snake's forehead, it cannot physically reach the paws with its teeth. This tactic does not always work. In addition, small cats are vulnerable to snakes, which prefer strangulation to poison. This rather famous scene of the cat mom's confrontation with a huge python ended with the rescue of the kids because they were carrying people nearby who did not care about the balance in the world of wildlife. The cat fought bravely and threw the snake off the slope several times, but a little more, and the python would have eaten the kittens. To prevent this, people intervened at the last moment and literally pulled the snake by the tail out of the cat's lair. Would you have done the same? Or would you have taken the position of biologists who prefer the role of outside observers? Let us know in the comments. But where small cats give up, panthers and other large relatives, on the contrary, overcome snakes. The largest representative of this family is the tiger. Its mass often exceeds 1/4 of a ton. In addition to pure physical strength, he has amazing fighting skills. It seems that during hunting, the tiger uses some kind of martial arts that allow him to throw a buffalo weighing up to a ton over his shoulder, break the boar's neck with one blow, or overwhelm a deer before the ungulate realizes what happened at all. Nevertheless, the snake is a worthy opponent even for such a tough fighter. This is a very rare, still black and white video of such a duel of giants. We must give the tiger his due. His straightforward attack seems to have discouraged the python. Instead of cunning tactics, the striped beast decides to rely on something that has never failed him: crushing force. But the python, especially such a huge one, is not a pack of chips that you can just take away from the supermarket shelf to have a snack in the evening. The snake avoided the fight with all its might. She has repeatedly given warning signals to the tiger that she does not want a fight. But the striped one simply ignored the reptile and bit into its side. Then the python was forced to resort to its incredible strength. The tiger responded with fangs. The cat's jaws closed several times around the python's head and neck. To the tiger's surprise, this was not enough to end the fight in his favor. The python bit into the tiger from the side, then wrapped its rings right around him. The tiger's strength is incredible. Even with such a burden, he managed to jump high several times. But he never managed to slip out of the snake's grasp. Well, the python can honestly admit that it was just honest self-defense. As a result, the tiger was never able to get free. Surely during the last stage of this giant fight, he regretted that he decided to contact a snake 3 times his body length. After all, this python is a good 26 feet, 8 meters, of tight muscles. And to save its own life, the snake used every one of them. The tiger could not escape. The python realized that it was overpowering its enemy and did not let it go. He tightened his grip harder, then even harder, and the tiger just couldn't take a breath. The snake's muscles around his torso were so tightly tightened that the tiger could not physically straighten his chest to let air into his lungs. And then the python tightened its embrace even more to inflict critical damage to the internal organs of the striped hunter, who has now become prey. There is also a relatively new video in which a tiger and a python appear to us as such heroes of a western. 2 fighters met on a narrow path. They stopped to assess each other. Who was gonna shoot first? Nobody. The tiger just retreats. And the python doesn't want to mess with this guy either. Hunting is a dangerous business, but it's better to rush at bulls than to try to overcome a huge snake. Smart move for a tiger, don't you think? Although the jaguar is the only panther of the New World, it is far from the only wild cat that lives on the American continent. A worthy competitor to her is the cougar. Although it often exceeds leopards in size, the cougar is not a panther and belongs to small cats. This scientific classification is related to the structure of the skull and vocal cords. For all its size and strength, a cougar cannot growl like a lion or a tiger, but it will be able to give the snakes the same decent fight as the jaguar, huh? It turns out that everything depends on the snake. The fact is that the rattlesnake, which lives mainly in North America, is probably the fastest snake in the world. That is, if you only take into account the speed of the throw. This reptile bites almost as fast as a bullet flies into its target. Dodging the lunge is almost impossible for anyone except exceptionally agile animals. Once upon a time, Indian mongooses were even brought to America so that these animals would help farmers exterminate snakes that bite cattle. But the animal, which dealt with cobras at home without any problems, turned out to be powerless against the rattlesnake. The snake was simply too fast for it. So, in a rattlesnake and cougar duel, it's better to bet on the reptile. Your chances are way higher. Rattlesnake venom has a pronounced hemotoxic effect. This means that it destroys the structure of the blood and poisons the heart along with the entire circulatory system. Even a minuscule amount of poison when it gets into the blood can deal with a cougar in a couple of minutes. Fortunately, there is a mysterious balance in nature, and the more terrible the poison, the more difficult it is for the snake's body to produce it. Therefore, the rattlesnake does not bite everyone that it can reach. Although this snake is not afraid of a fight, it tries to avoid it to the last minute. That's why it needs a rattle, a specific skin structure at the tip of the tail. The masking coloration, which makes it easy to sneak up on a prey, makes the reptile almost invisible even to a cougar. And so that the cat does not accidentally step on such a creature, the snake deliberately betrays itself, begins to rattle the tip of its tail while taking a protective stance. That is, the snake twists the body like a big spring. The rattlesnake is ready to shoot his head at the target for a fatal bite at any moment, but deliberately delays the blow to give a random opponent time to escape. And only if the warning of the rattlesnake is ignored, and moreover, if they try to attack the snake, it attacks almost always for sure. And this cougar acted very wisely. It decided to be careful when it encountered a huge python in the expanses of humid Florida. In fact, in this case, the mountain lion will attack the snake in the head in order to quickly break its neck and not allow itself to be bitten. However, during the attack, the python may have time to twist and dig into the cat and then wrap its body around it. So this tactic is not a guaranteed success at all. Why does this cougar seem to taste the python and try to bite it in the middle of the body? The answer is simple. It's the first time it's ever seen such a big snake and genuinely does not know how to react to it. Fortunately, the python is not in the mood for a fight either. Instead of counterattacking, it quickly removes the torso from the puma's teeth. The cat was smart enough to understand that it was better not to mess with such a terrible creature and go look for easier prey. So this time, both opponents remained alive and did not even receive any damage. What do the masters of Oriental martial arts say there? The best fight is the one that did not happen. You can give this cougar a black belt.